Derek and Terrence. Two names, intertwined in a bond seemingly unbreakable. Friends since childhood, their connection ran deeper than blood. They shared secrets, dreams, and a love for the same reckless abandon in their youth. Years passed, their bond weathering every storm. They were more than friends. They were brothers in arms. Derek, the charismatic leader, always drawing the spotlight. Terrence, the quiet observer, ever loyal, always a shadow behind Derek's brilliance. What they didn't share openly was a secret that festered in the darkness. An unspoken attraction, a forbidden desire, had taken root between them. Their shared glances held a hidden language, their touches lingered a moment too long. It started subtly, a transgression easily dismissed as camaraderie. But the line blurred, and soon their friendship transformed into a dangerous dance of passion and deceit, a secret they swore to protect, even as Derek prepared to take a bride. Leah, a radiant vision of beauty and innocence, entered Derek's life like a breath of fresh air. Her presence was like a beacon, illuminating the darkest corners of his world. Her laughter was infectious, her spirit vibrant, and her joy seemed to touch everyone around her. She had a way of making people feel special, seen, and loved. Derek, captivated by her light, fell deeply in love. He was drawn to her like a moth to a flame, unable to resist the pull of her warmth and kindness. He believed he could bury his secret, lock it away in the deepest recesses of his heart. He convinced himself that his past would not taint their future. He would be hers, wholly and completely, or so he told himself. Derek was determined to be the man Leah deserved, to give her the life she dreamed of. The wedding was a grand affair, a testament to their love story. Every detail was meticulously planned, reflecting the depth of their commitment. But beneath the surface of celebration, a current of tension crackled in the air. It was an unspoken truth, a silent undercurrent that only a few could sense. Terrence, standing beside Derek, his smile strained, eyes betraying his carefully constructed facade. He was a man torn between duty and desire. He watched as Derek slipped the ring on Leah's finger, a silent vow to another man's love echoing in his ears. The weight of the moment was almost unbearable. The reception buzzed with laughter and merriment, but a shadow clung to Terrence, a constant reminder of the forbidden love he shared with the groom. It was a love that could never be spoken of, a secret that weighed heavily on his heart. Each stolen glance between him and Derek, a sharp pang of guilt and longing. Their eyes would meet for a fleeting moment, and in that instant, everything was laid bare. The charade continued, a macabre waltz of celebration and despair. They danced around the truth, each step a reminder of the love that could never be. The vows were spoken, the champagne toasted, the cake cut. The newly married couple, radiant and blissful, retreated for a night of promised intimacy. Leah, filled with dreams of a future with the man she adored, had no idea her world was about to shatter. Derek, his heart heavy with the weight of his deception, clung to Leah as if she were his lifeline, but his eyes, filled with a potent mix of desire and guilt, betrayed his inner turmoil. He loved Leah, he truly did, but his love for Terrence was a tempestuous sea, pulling him under. The wedding night, meant to be a celebration of their love, became a perverse mockery of the vows they had just taken. The air in their room was thick with unspoken truths and the looming specter of betrayal. Derek, torn between his bride and his illicit love, found himself trapped in a web of his own making. The night stretched before him, an unwelcome harbinger of the storm that was to come. As Leah drifted into a peaceful slumber, dreaming of a bright future, Derek lay awake, haunted by the choices he had made. The weight of his secret pressed down on him, making it hard to breathe. He knew that the foundation of their marriage was built on a lie, and it was only a matter of time before it all came crashing down. The love he felt for Leah was genuine, but it was tainted by the shadow of his affair with Terrence. Every touch, every kiss, was a reminder of the double life he was leading. The night was long, filled with restless thoughts and a gnawing sense of dread. Derek's mind raced, contemplating the inevitable fallout when the truth would finally be revealed. The dawn would bring a new day, but also the beginning of the end for the fragile facade he had so carefully constructed. Leah lay awake, the fine silk sheets cool against her skin. The excitement of the day had given way to a strange unease. She listened to the soft sounds of Derek's breathing, or so she thought. Turning, she found his side of the bed empty. Confusion, then a prickle of fear ran through her. Where was he? The whispers started subtly, slithering under the door like a venomous snake. They were muffled, but undeniably male voices. Leah's heart pounded in her chest. She rose, a sense of dread settling in her stomach. The whispers grew louder as she neared the door. Curiosity, now a raging inferno, compelled her to open it. The hallway was dark, but a sliver of light spilled from under Terrence's door, and then she heard it, clear as day, Derek's voice laced with a tenderness she had never heard him use with her. Section 5. The illusion shatters. Leah's breath caught in her throat, the blood draining from her face. It couldn't be. It simply couldn't be true. She pushed the door open, the scene before her shattering her world into a million pieces. Derek, her husband, sat on the edge of the bed, his back to her, and Terrence, his face illuminated in the soft lamplight, was gazing at Derek with an expression of such naked adoration that it stole Leah's breath away. The air crackled with a tangible intimacy. Suddenly, Derek turned, his eyes widening in horror as they met Leah's. The look of sheer panic on his face confirmed everything. Leah felt a scream rise in her chest, a primal scream of pain and betrayal, but it died in her throat, choked by the sheer enormity of her discovery. Section 6. A deadly confrontation. The silence hung heavy in the air, thick with unspoken accusations and shattered dreams. Leah's world, carefully constructed around the man she loved, lay in ruins at her feet. The betrayal cut deep, a visceral wound that bled raw with each passing second. Words, inadequate and meaningless, seemed to evaporate before they could escape her lips. Derek, his face a mask of guilt and remorse, rose to his feet, his hand reaching out to her in a gesture of apology. But Leah flinched, recoiling as if from a physical blow. Then, the dam broke. Rage, raw and consuming, surged through her veins, obliterating everything in its path. She rounded on Terrence, her voice thick with fury, echoing in the small room. Accusations flew, sharp and venomous, tearing at the fragile remnants of their twisted love story. Section 7. The Price of Betrayal. Terrence, his face pale, could only stammer out denials, but his words rang hollow, drowned out by the storm raging within Leah. The room seemed to shrink, the air growing thick and suffocating. The scent of her perfume, once a source of comfort to Derek, now seemed cloying, suffocating him with the weight of his transgression. He tried to intervene, to explain, to apologize, but Leah's rage was an inferno, consuming everything in its path. She grabbed a heavy, ornate lamp from the bedside table, her knuckles white as she gripped it with a strength she never knew she possessed. In that moment, blinded by a whirlwind of betrayal and despair, Leah saw red. The lamp arced through the air, connecting with Terrence's head with a sickening thud. Section 8. Trapped in a prison of guilt. A strangled cry escaped Terrence's lips as he crumpled to the floor, his eyes wide with shock and disbelief. His body hit the ground with a thud, the sound echoing in the silent room. The weight of the moment was palpable, a heavy blanket of dread that seemed to suffocate everyone present. The room seemed to tilt, the world spinning as Leah watched in horror as the life drained from his eyes. Her heart pounded in her chest, each beat a painful reminder of the irreversible act she had committed. The walls seemed to close in, trapping her in a nightmare of her own making. Derek rushed to Terrence's side, his own cries of anguish echoing Leah's screams. He knelt beside his fallen friend, his hands trembling as he tried to comprehend the scene before him. The bond they shared, now shattered, lay in pieces around them. The stench of blood filled the air, a metallic tang that seemed to cling to the back of Leah's throat. It was a scent she would never forget, a constant reminder of the life she had taken. The floor, once pristine, was now a gruesome canvas of red. The weight of what she had done, the irreversible consequences of her actions, crashed over her like a tidal wave. Each wave brought a new surge of guilt, a fresh reminder of the life she had destroyed. She felt as if she were drowning, unable to surface for air. Leah collapsed to her knees, the enormity of her crime washing over her in waves of nausea and despair. Her body shook with sobs, each tear a testament to her regret. She could barely breathe, the weight of her guilt pressing down on her chest. She was trapped, her life irrevocably entwined with the man she loved and the ghost of the man she had killed. The shadows around her seemed to whisper accusations, their voices a constant reminder of her betrayal. She could see no way out, no escape from the prison of her own making. The wedding night, meant to be a celebration of love, had become a blood-soaked testament to the devastating power of secrets and the deadly price of betrayal. The dress she wore, once a symbol of purity and joy, was now stained with the evidence of her crime. The echoes of that night would haunt her forever, a constant reminder of the life she had destroyed.